Hi, I'm Kelly Ballman with the Salvation Army Samaritan Center. We offer adult day services to people from the community. We help families take care of their loved ones and give a sense of purpose to the participants. I invite you to stop in or call to see what our program has to offer. We are located on West Hubert Avenue in Lancaster, and our phone number is 740-687-1921. Remember, the Samaritan Center changes how you live, not where you live.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lank's Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. My special guest today, Ken Culver. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Mike. It's good to be here.
You've got a couple new hats. We're going to talk about all of them. You're chair of the Democratic Party here in Fairfield County. That just came about?
That just came about. That's a secret that's coming out now. I'm taking on two new big responsibilities. Beginning, of course, my main one, my day job, if you will, is the festival.
Right. Yep.
And that is a great adventure. I began actually, Mike, as an interim in January. Little did I know that the interim would become permanent. But as I was telling you earlier, I guess I don't have much sales resistance because they offered me the job. And the way that worked out was as I was grabbing hold of this interim, I was enjoying daily work. And I decided after a couple of months, I think I could do this. So I put my hat in the ring, and the board said, okay, so here I am.
Fantastic.
I think this is my third attempt to retire.
Because you ran the Advest office for how many years?
I did, about 20 years.
About 20 years. And before that, anchor hocking?
Anchor hocking, before that, 18 years there. And after Advest, which was 2005, my wife and I both retired. About a year later, I got into government again. You and I were on city council together in the 90s. But then I went back as council president for 6 years. Right after that, then I became interim director of Big Brothers Big Sisters. For a period of time, and then now this. So I am very, very unsuccessful at retiring, but I'm perfectly happy with it. It's been a great run so far with the festival, and very, very exciting.
The festival is coming up very, very shortly.
It is. It begins on July 20th. Runs for 11 days this time until the 30th. And that sounds like a long ways away in one sense, but not when you're trying to plan it. In fact, it's a 12-month job. People ask me, oh, you're doing the festival, so you're working this summer, huh? No, it's 12 months, clearly 12 months. There's planning all over the place, you can imagine. But you know, we have a great group. We have very, very few people who are actually paid staff. We have people who are paid during the festival, and we have about one person, maybe 1.25 persons in the office, and that's it, besides myself. We run on volunteers, and that's in the hundreds. We say about 600 volunteers, and I'm meeting them as fast as I can. They're wonderful people. This festival has been going on since 1985. Those people who may remember, it was a one-time event, Picnic with the Pops, and the two talented visionary ladies, Barbara Hunsinger and Eleanor Hood, came up with the idea. And before you know it, we had our own orchestra, we have our own maestro, and we are now, 30 plus years.
30 plus years into it.
Right.
People always ask the acts that you get. How soon do you start that? You had to start right away.
Oh, absolutely. It's a 12-month process. We have a wonderful artistic committee headed by Gary Sheldon, Maestro Gary, and of course the exec director is part of that. The way we're organized, you might say that we have two directors, Gary the artistic director and I as the executive director is responsible for everything not artistic. Although I get involved with our decision making, but that really is, there are people in our organization who are much better at that than I am. Our committee, our artistic committee, they understand acts and they know what would play and what wouldn't. But yes, that's a 12-month process. It especially gets intense after the first of the year as we try to book our main acts. And once we book our main acts, then it kind of cascades down to other acts. And in fact, when I came on board as an interim, we were very, very much complete with a number of the main acts. We were close to a group, the Midtown Men, which is our second Saturday night, our first Saturday night, the 23rd. People haven't heard of the Midtown Men per se, but when they realize that these are the four original stars of the Broadway Jersey Boys, that rings a bell.
Sure.
Everybody, many people have heard of the Jersey Boys, and so there's a lot of buzz about them. Our second act, really our main act, if you will, for July 30th is Vince Gill, and that one we just finished. We just cut the deal, if you will, and so we announced it on April 9th. Vince Gill is creating a lot of buzz in the community, and so are the Minutemen.
That's something else you're
Right,
involved
yeah,
in.
there's another subject. The Midtown Men, the Jersey Boys connection. Vince Gill, record holder of Grammys. He has more country music awards than anybody. He's tied with Chet Atkins, I think the number is. And so Vince Gill is a very well-known name, and of course, our listeners or our viewers may remember that his wife, Amy Grant, was our headliner 2 years ago.
Right.
Vince is from the Columbus area, so he has ties to this area. We were very happy to get him, and we're looking forward to a great night with Vince Gill.
How much negotiations go on to get an act here? Is it?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Getting an act is no small feat. Of course, we set our sights high to begin with, but we have to realize that we have a limited budget. We are competing against bigger venues in bigger cities. We're competing against coliseums. We're competing against casinos in Las Vegas, arenas, and of course Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Indianapolis, you name it. They all have orchestras. They all have festivals. And so when you bring up Lancaster, they say, what is that? So we have.
Where is it?
Where is it? Yeah, there are something like 17 Lancasters in the country. But we are very well regarded among those people who know. We treat our guests well, and our guests in turn speak well of us. But having said that, it's still a money game. We can't afford to pay $500,000 to somebody who could get that at Nationwide Arena, for example.
Sure.
And so we have to get stars who are up-and-comers, or maybe a little bit more seasoned. And so it's finding that right niche. And yes, there's a lot of negotiation that goes on, not only price, but one of the factors is routing. In other words, if they're scheduled to go from Honolulu, Hawaii to to Anchorage, Alaska, they're probably not going to detour to Lancaster.
Right.
So we have to look at the geography and see what makes sense, and then plan our strategy to attract them based on routing too. And the other factor, Mike, is that not all artists like to work with orchestras. We are the Lancaster Festival, and our centerpiece is our own Lancaster Orchestra, the Festival Orchestra, and they, of course, are on stage every year, twice. But some artists who prefer just to have their own bands and don't like the orchestra or don't want to work with the orchestra, those then, we just simply don't do business with them. But finding the artists, Vince Gill loves to work with orchestra, and Vince Gill is going to bring a terrific band with him too. And so we are working now with their sound people and our sound people, our technicians, to get the right blend of orchestral sound and band sound.
Think there might be a special appearance by Amy Grant?
I don't think so. That's a nice thought. We might just have to dig up a 2-year-old CD or something. That'd be nice, but I think she has her own schedule, so I don't think we're going to see Amy Grant.
That would be neat.
Wouldn't that be a...
Oh, that would be a hoot.
I'd love to see it, but I'm not counting on it.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
No.
People always ask about tickets. I know they're not going on sale till June 1st.
Right. People, once we made the announcement on the headliners, we have been getting literally, I'm not saying the phones are ringing off the hook, but it's very active. So the fact is that, tickets, as always, will not go on sale till about June 1st, on or about June 1st. Because we can't get into the habit of pre-sales where we're taking down notes and so forth. We want to have the ticket office staffed to properly handle it. And people can buy tickets online as well as in the office. And so we have a new ticket system coming in, by the way, whereby they can go online and actually see the seating charts, and for those who want tables, and actually pick a table that they might want.
Sure.
So that will be about June 1st, though, yes.
Is there a website people can go to now, or call the office? What's the
call,
easiest
call
thing to do?
687-4808, 687-4808, lancasterfestival.org. They can get online. The website's been redone, and it's beautiful. It has Vince Gill, and it has the Midtown Men, and it has all of our other artists. We have many different acts coming up. We have, for example, the first Wednesday. This is something we're trying to make it an 11-day festival. So our first Wednesday is going to be Humming House. This is a kind of a country bluegrass group, kind of family oriented. They're going to be introduced by a local group from Columbus called Charles Melchior's Bluegrass Trio. So it's going to be light, easy listening.
Sure, yeah.
And that will be the first Wednesday, the opener, the 23rd. A week later, the 20th.
20th.
Right. A week later, the 27th, we have another Wednesday performance, and this has been something we've done for quite a few years, tribute bands. And this year's tribute band will be called Live Wire, and they are a tribute band for AC/DC.
Okay.
And here again, we're getting a lot of AC/DC fans who are inquiring about that. And so those are two wonderful acts that complement the mainline Saturday acts. Then too, we have some new things going on elsewhere. Our traditional grand opening or official opening is at St. Mary's the Thursday night, and that will, as always, feature the Lancaster the festival orchestra. But this year we're adding the Lancaster Chorale.
Oh,
and so it will
fantastic.
be spectacular. We're looking forward to that with a great deal of anticipation. That's called Viva Italia. It'll be a wonderful, high-toned performance. I love the St. Mary's venue. It's wonderful. So that's the Thursday night opener. Then we have right here at this facility, we have the Disney show coming up again. That'll be the Friday before the finale, and that will feature Disney characters, Disney music, and that will include the latest Star Wars, the Force Awakens.
Wow.
So there are going to be a lot of exciting things here for people who like the laser.
Sure.
What are the laser guns called?
Not a high beam, that's something else.
Light,
beams.
whatever they, So that will be the Friday before. Just a lot of exciting things there, and many things also, Mike, which are free. We have things, of course, at the bandstand every day, downtown
Sure,
at the bandstand, beginning with our partnership with Destination Downtown. That'll be the Art Walk. We're going to have Erica Blinn and her band, a very powerful group, kicking it off at the Art Walk. And then the following week we'll have the usual, all the way through Saturday, we'll have activities at the bandstand. We're going to bring back an old friend, Arnett Howard.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Arnett's been a fixture if there ever has been.
Yeah.
A wonderful supporter of the festival, and we have had Arnett in virtually every venue we can think of, except the downtown bandstand. So he'll be performing at the bandstand, one of these noontime affairs. We've got a great Irish group called the Drowsy Lads coming, just a fun Irish type of music. We got a group called the Trios, the Tea Sisters, excuse me, the Tea Sisters. A great variety of music at the bandstand. We're adding something else new too, and this is going to be happy hour concerts or happy hour music at Shaw's Restaurant and at the Ale House, and these will be various brass and string quintets and ensembles. We have the cafe concerts as always. This will be at the Country Club and at Shaw's. We have a lot of things for children. We have things on the first Saturday, Festival Fair Day at the fairgrounds. That's always fun. Just looking at my listing here, we have a super fun band, or kind of a funky band that goes around with odd-looking clothes, playing odd-looking music, including Hang On Sloopy and so forth.
Okay.
The Rainforest Magical Train. We've got the Adolphi Band.
Sure.
We have the Ohio State group, the Ohio State traveling event that comes around the blow-up basketball courts and fun houses, bouncy houses, that sort of a thing. We're going to have Operator for a Day coming back. That is from the company Wrench, where they actually
the heavy equipment.
Equipment. So Mike, if you're not doing anything, if you want a new career, then come on down and learn how to operate a backhoe.
Probably the last time I do it.
Okay, well, and then we have the following week we have Rising Park Day, 4 or 5 hours of fun events there, including storytelling and music and yoga with music and. Every day also we have every day of the full week we have things going on at the KFC for children, magicians, jugglers, that sort of thing. Those performances take place at the KFC in the morning at 10:30 and then again at 1:30 at the mall. And so if you didn't catch it one place, you can catch it another. That is kid-oriented, kid-friendly, free.
Wow, that's neat.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have the Nostalgics back for the people who love the swing music, the Glenn Miller music. They'll be at the mall. Again, a free event. And so I'm getting out of breath just thinking about it.
I know there's a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of stuff that's happening. Now, do other festivals, or do they come and talk to you, or do they say, hey, how'd you do this? Or
well, ask me in a year.
Okay.
And as much as I'm new at the job, this is my first year. I often tell people this is my my voyage of discovery, if you will.
Sure. Yeah.
I liken it to peeling an onion back. Every day I go in and there's something new that I hadn't even.
But you feel good about it too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the people are great to work with. And so, yes, we've been in touch with the Violet Festival, for example, the Pickerton Violet Festival. We've had some conversations with Newark, because Newark is just, soon I think, Newark is going to rededicate a big major downtown renovation, and they're having a group come in, which we're also having, and so we worked out an accommodation whereby we could have the same group without stepping on each other, so to speak.
That's good.
So yeah, we consult, absolutely.
Where is the ticket office? Where is Lancaster Festival office, I guess, for those people who don't know?
For people who don't know, 117 West Wheeling Street. It's on the north side of Wheeling Street, between Broad and Columbus Street, closer to Broad Street, right across from the parking lot of Shaw's Restaurant. That's where the ticket office is. When tickets are available, after June 1st, people can come in and get their tickets right there, or they can get them online. They can save a little bit of money by coming in and getting them.
They can. Okay.
You don't have to pay the processing fee if you go online, so that'll save them a few bucks. So that's available at our office on Wheeling Street.
Has there ever been an act that, well, you've been around a long time, even though this is your first year in official capacity, but has there ever been an act that you thought, boy, they'd be really neat here, and you just maybe finances restricted, but?
Yes. I of course, I'd love to have some big acts, but that's not going to work out. I myself like orchestra, and so I'm very partial to orchestra, and I would love to have the top quality traditional orchestra that we can get with virtuosos who are playing wonderful piano pieces and so forth. But I have to recognize that I'm one person, and I represent just a slice of the people, the populace. The fact is that most younger people, the millennials and what have you, they like the groups, the headliner groups, and so we have to balance that. Among the headliners, it would be fun to have some top quality, but.
We have a couple pictures of the Lancaster. You might want to talk about as we scroll through here. I think they last about 20 seconds.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is our famous shell. There they are performing. The shell incident. That's a story and a half too. That's quite an operation. We put that up about 10 days early, and as a matter of fact, my son Tim has been in charge of that shell for quite a few years. It takes quite a crew to do it safely, to make sure the wind isn't blowing too hard and to make sure that it's anchored down properly. But that shell goes up about 10 days before the festival, and then of course the lights are added, the speakers and what have you. Right. That shell was just replaced about 3 or 4 years ago, so we think it'll have quite a few years ahead of it yet.
It's an amazing structure.
Well, it is, and here you have the Midtown Men. And again, these are 4 stars from the original Broadway Jersey Boys. The Jersey Boys acts have come after these guys. and they're not nearly known as being. These are award-winning people, and so to have the original stars of the Jersey Boys is a big deal. So this is I'm looking forward to this a lot because this is going to be Broadway music I really like, and I think people my age or maybe your age, Mike, since you're so much younger. Than I am.
I'm just a ton younger than you.
But they're very active, and of course here's Vince. We've had the conversations we've had with his people have been very cordial.
Have you had a chance to talk to him personally?
I have not talked to him personally. I certainly intend to. I understand he's very accessible. And we've had over the years, we've had accessible stars, and we've had stars that really didn't particularly even want to be here.
Oh, boy.
You have that. You just have that. They were booked, and maybe they don't want to do it. They're tired, or maybe they're sick, or whatever. And I'm not going to mention names, but that has happened. And then you have others who have no egos whatsoever. They're very cordial and affable, and I think Vince Gill fits into that category. Right. So we've had, as I say, we're dealing with the many details of trying to make this happen. For example, they have a 60-foot truck full of stuff that we're going to have to put on, and then we worry about what if it's raining. What's going to happen then, and what kind of marks is that going to leave on the field, and will they get stuck?
Sure.
And so these are the 1,001 details that now that we've announced the acts, now we have to fill in all the dots, cross the I's, cross the T's, and dot the I's.
Since we have the acts filled, is there a max and a number of tickets?
There is for yes, there is for the tables.
Okay.
They will go. I'm almost certain, especially for Vince Gill. There is normally we don't run out of room for the lawn seating, but we've had Randy Travis, the Beach Boys. It was just explosive the number of people who came. So it's possible we'll have to, from a safety standpoint, cut it off if we have a really nice Saturday. Weather-wise, I mean, people wake up in the morning. What are we going to do? Well, Vince Gill, the weather's good, so we expect that'll happen. Whatever you can do to keep the rain from coming, Mike, I appreciate it.
I have a lot of power in that.
Yeah.
That's, just one more time, the phone number, the website. I know tickets aren't going to be available until June 1st.
Right.
But if people just had, website's probably the easiest thing to go to.
Absolutely, and it's wonderful. LancasterFestival.org, 687-4808. And if they can't remember the website, just punch in Google Lancaster Festival and it'll come up.
The one I want to just touch briefly on the impact that this festival has on the city.
It has
because it's not just we're not talking about just music in general, but other things that
exactly. You have the synergy. You have the domino effect. We are now booking rooms at some of the hotels for the artists and for the workers and so forth, and they have to eat at restaurants. They have to they're entertained. So there's a great deal of synergy that goes on. This is $1 million operation.
Oh, easily, easily.
And there's great synergy. So, and we're getting people come in from. It's not just locals. They're coming in from distances. Our marketing area is Central Ohio, but we have people coming in from further distances than that.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, but we get a lot of outside people. We love outside people coming in with open billfolds.
Oh, absolutely.
So we work with the Destination Downtown organization. We work with the Visitors and Conventions Bureau, with the Chamber of Commerce. We all are, we energize each other.
Yeah. It's such a great group effort. At times when you first took this, did you think, oh boy?
Well, that's a good question, Mike, because the reason I think I was selected is I do have 48 years in the community. You and I served on council together, but I've been involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, with Habitat for Humanity, with United Way, with the YMCA, with the hospital. So I've had a lot of social agency connections, and I think that board appreciated that.
Oh, sure.
That I could hit.
I think the community does.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. I think the community appreciates what you're doing.
And I've been getting people telling me that.
Sure.
But I don't. I've never had an artistic position. I mean, I appreciate music. I appreciate all of the arts, but I don't know them well. And so my gift, my reason, my strength, if you will, is administration.
Sure.
I've been working in for-profit enterprises my whole life, so I understand the bottom line.
Right.
And so that's why I think that's what I can bring to the table, if you will.
So we know that, you've just got elected as the chair of the Democratic Party, which is gonna take more time, and you're doing this, and we just have a few minutes left, about 2.5 minutes. You think you'll ever retire?
I hope not. That's a good question. The fact is that in my 10 years, I've had many times with no work, most of the time, and you tend to get a little bit sloppy. Sleep in a little bit longer, take the extra cup of coffee, take a nap in the afternoon, that sort of thing, and then you think you're really busy. But when you think you're busy, and maybe you are based on your new paradigm. But now that I really am busy, I know what busy is again, and I really like it.
And you enjoy it too.
I do, yeah. I do. I stretch more out of my day, and now I have these two hats, and they are. And by the way, I told both organizations, both the Democratic Party and the festival board, that I'm thinking that there may be 2 jobs for me in the future, and is that a problem for you?
Sure, yeah.
And both of them said no. I told them I'm going to build a firewall between them. I'm not going to bring one or the other to the table, and I don't want one to interfere with the other, and I think I can keep them perfectly separated.
There's, I want to tell a story about you before we get off the air. I walked into city council one night, and you had played golf at Ogilvy over in Wheeling. And I was an avid golfer at the time, and I said, well, how was it? And you said, you were 9 under. I said, you were 9 under at Ogilvy? I said, Ken, that's amazing. He said, and this is truth. He said, yeah, I lost 5 balls on the front, and I lost 4 on the back, and I was 9 under. But I laughed. That made my night. That was good. But
You've got a great memory, because that's the level of my golf.
It has been an absolute pleasure having you here today. It really has, and being involved, and not only again with the Democratic Party, but just the festival history and everything. They couldn't have picked a better guy to do the job, and I'm sure that as you get into this more and more, you're gonna maybe develop some other ideas that you can add to it yourself.
Well, I hope so. My objective is to do the best I can this year, but then next year begin to, maybe expand a little bit, change some things, spread out, that sort of a thing.
Absolutely.
Within the festival days. Yeah.
Thanks for
All
being
right,
here.
Mike, thank you. Good luck to you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. And remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.
In 1929 in Chicago, a gentleman by the name of Marion Wade, former minor league baseball player, started the company. It was just a moth-proofing company then. In 1952, it expanded to carpet cleaning and pioneered what is now called outsourcing. And the Sidwells wanted a community that had a lot of churches, had a lot of soccer opportunities, their kids love soccer, and a good Parks and Rec department, so they chose Lancaster. And so in 1980, they moved the franchise here in Lancaster to 6th Avenue. But then in 2002, Todd George, current owner, purchased the franchise from them. And in 2004, he bought a building that's on Mulberry Street, and that's where the franchise is located currently. I'm Jay Johnson, General Manager of Service Master Clean by Todd George, where we guarantee if it's not done right the first time, we'll do it again.
Service Master Clean by Todd George, 740-687-1077, 740-687-1077.